The night my boss told me to bring a ring to her house, it started as my own bad joke. I was not supposed to be at that party for more than 10 minutes. The backyard behind her place in Chicago glowed with warm lights, little white bulbs strung across the fence and over the patio. Someone had put gold balloons on the lawn chairs. A banner above the cake said "Happy Birthday, Harrison" in shiny letters that were already starting to peel on one side. I still wore the same gray t-shirt and jeans I had worn all day in the office. I had not even taken off my work badge. This was not my world. I was there to drop off a last-minute report and maybe grab a slice of cake so I could say I showed up. Then my boss stepped into my world, and the exit disappeared. Her name was Elena Hart. On business shows, they called her the Ice Queen of Logistics. In person, she did not look cold at all. She stood near the cake in a dark red dress that fit her like it had been made just for her. No big jewelry, just small gold hoops in her ears and a simple watch. Her dark hair was down past her shoulders instead of pinned back like it was at the office. When she turned and saw me, the whole backyard felt like it shifted into focus. "There you are," she said. "My favorite problem solver finally shows up to his own party." "I thought it was your house," I said. "I am pretty sure you outrank me." She smiled a little, the tiredness in her eyes softening. "Tonight it is your backyard," she said. "Legally, I am sure that is not true, but I will let it slide." People I barely knew from different departments were talking near the grill. Someone from HR was taking pictures on their phone. Music played low from a speaker by the steps. The lake behind the house was just a dark line past the fence, the air cool and calm. Elena stepped closer and pressed a lighter into my hand. "Come on," she said. "Do the candle thing so everyone can go back to pretending they do not stare at their boss at parties." I laughed and moved toward the cake. 29 small candles were crowded on top, melting little rivers into the frosting. The whole group gathered and someone started singing. I stared at the flames while they sang my name. When the song ended, Elena leaned in close enough that I could smell her perfume, warm and clean, sandalwood and something like rain. Her voice dropped low so only I could hear. "Make a real wish, Harry," she said. "No fake stuff." I looked at her, not the candles. There was a tightness in her jaw that did not match the smile on her mouth. I had seen that look in meetings when the board pushed her. I had never seen it at a party. I wished she did not look like that. I blew out the candles. People cheered and clapped. Someone yelled for shots. Music turned up a little. For a few minutes it was just noise and movement and plates being passed around. Then it all blurred at the edges, like the night itself knew it needed to get out of the way. My coworker Mark handed me a drink and slapped my shoulder. "Hey, birthday boy," he said loud enough for the group. "If you really want a bonus this year, you should just marry the boss." The people around us laughed. It was the kind of joke people make when they know it is safe, because everyone assumes it is impossible. I raised my glass halfway, feeling the warmth of the drink in my hand and the weight of Elena's eyes on me from across the patio. "Sure," I called back without thinking. "Marry me, boss. Solve all my problems at once." More laughter, a whistle from somewhere near the grill. Someone said they wanted that on video. I expected Elena to roll her eyes and shake her head. She did not. She set down her own drink, walked straight through the crowd, and stopped in front of me. Up close, her face was calm, but her eyes had gone sharp. "Careful, Harrison," she said in a low voice. "Some of us are tired of jokes." I opened my mouth to say I was kidding, that obviously I knew better. Then she leaned a little closer. Her lips barely moved. "My place tonight," she said. "Bring a ring." My throat closed. "What?" She straightened and turned to the group with a bright social smile like nothing had happened. "Thank you all for coming," she said. "Eat, drink, take as much cake as you can carry. I am stealing the birthday man for a few minutes to talk shop." She touched my elbow and guided me away from the table. People went back to talking. A few curious eyes followed us, but no one stopped us. The music covered us like a curtain. "What was that?" I asked under my breath as we walked toward the house. "You heard me," she said. Her hand stayed light on my arm. "Do not look so scared. Not yet." "Yet?" I repeated. "You just told me to bring a ring to your place." She gave a short, humorless laugh. You started the bit, she said. I am just making use of it. Elena, I said, if this is a joke, it is a strange one. She opened the sliding door and stepped inside. Cool air from the house hit my face. She did not answer until the door clicked shut behind us and the noise from the yard went soft. This is not a joke, she said. We walked through a living room that looked like a photo from a magazine. Perfect couch, perfect coffee table, art on the walls that I did not understand. No shoes by the door, no jackets thrown over chairs, nothing that said a real person collapsed here after a long day. She led me down the hall to a small office. There was a big wooden desk, a wall of shelves with books and files, and a window that looked out over the lake. She closed the door, and for the first time all night, she let her shoulders drop. On the desk sat a thick folder with red stickers on the side. She picked it up and dropped it in front of me. The sound was heavy. "Happy birthday," she said. "This is my problem." I flipped it open. Inside were legal papers, trust documents, pages of tight black text with dates and signatures. It looked like the kind of thing I usually saw from the outside when I dug through numbers for clients. My job was to find lies in books. I was good at it. That was why she hired me 6 months ago as an outside consultant. "What am I looking at?" I asked. She crossed her arms over her chest, like she was holding herself together. "A clause," she said, "written by my grandfather, signed by my father, locked into the company bylaws and the family trust." I ran my finger under a section that was highlighted in yellow. The words blurred for a second, then snapped into focus. "If the current CEO is not legally married by age 35, I read slowly. Control of Heart Freight passes to the interim chair and the board may appoint a replacement without contest." I looked up at her. "You are 34, I said. She nodded once. "For 2 more weeks." The room felt smaller. The party outside might as well have been in another state. "This cannot be real," I said. "Oh, it is very real," she said. "My father thinks a ring makes a woman stable. The board thinks it gives them leverage. The lawyers think it is clever. I think it is a trap." I stared down at the papers again. The line of text might as well have been a countdown clock. "You want me to marry you," I said slowly, "so you keep the company." "I want someone I trust in my corner," she said. "Someone who is not playing for my father, or for the board. Someone who understands what they are signing." "You have a whole city to choose from," I said. "Why me?" Her eyes met mine. For the first time since I had known her, she did not look like a CEO at all. She looked like a woman who had been standing alone for too long. "Because you see the numbers," she said. "And you do not flinch when they are ugly. You tell me the truth even when it hurts. You do not want my money. You do not want my title. You just want clean books." She took a breath and let it out slow. "And when you joked about marrying me out there," she added, "you did not sound afraid." I felt my pulse in my throat. My mind raced through every reason to say no. Ethics. Reputation. The fact that we barely knew each other outside work. The way my chest had tightened when she leaned in near the cake. "You could hire a lawyer," I said weakly. "I did," she said. "They told me this is legal and binding and old as dirt. They told me I can fight it. But I will lose the fight before the ink dries on my removal papers. They told me the only way around it is to make it useless." Quote, "By being married," I said. "By being married," she agreed. She stepped closer to the desk, hands flat on the wood like she was bracing herself. "So here we are, Harrison," she said softly. "Your joke, my deadline, my company, your choice." The clock on the wall ticked loud in the silence. Outside, faint through the glass, I could hear someone start another song. My mouth felt dry. I closed the folder. The cover thumped shut like a door. She watched me with those dark, tired eyes. "Bring a ring," she had said. I took a breath that felt too big for my chest. "I should walk out," I said. She did not look away. "Will you?" she asked. For a long second I just stared at her. "I should," I said again. "I should walk out." Her eyes did not move. "That is not an answer," she said. I thought about my small apartment on the south side. I thought about my slow but safe career. I thought about this woman who ran a company the size of a small city and still had to live under one old line of text written by dead men. "You are asking for a lot," I said. "I know," she said. "You could break my life," I said. "I know that too," she said, softer now. "I am trying not to." I let out a breath. "You sure it has to be me?" I asked. A tiny smile came and went on her mouth. "I cannot believe I am saying this to a man who showed up in a wrinkled t-shirt to his own party," she said. "But yes, I am sure." I looked down at the folder again, at her hands on the desk, at the faint red line on her wrist where her watch band had pressed too hard, at the way her shoulders stayed squared like she did not know how to rest. "You will not beg," I said. "No," she said. "You will not make it sound pretty," I added. "No," she said again. "You really want this," I said. She held my gaze. "I want my company," she said. "And I want one person beside me who is mine by choice, not by paycheck." Something in my chest shifted. I did not know if it was smart. I did not know if it was brave. I just knew that the thought of walking out and reading about her fall in some cold news article made my stomach hurt. "If I say yes," I said, "I set the rules." Her brows lifted a little. "All right," she said. "Say them." "No lying to each other," I said. "Not about the numbers, not about how bad it gets, not about what you need." She nodded once. "Agreed." "No fake affection for show," I said. "We do not stage a kiss because some board member wants a photo. If anything happens between us, it is real, or it does not happen at all." Her teeth caught her lower lip for half a second. "You think something will happen between us?" she asked quietly. "I think I do not want to promise it will not," I said. Her eyes warmed just a little. She did not smile big, but the hard edge in her jaw softened. "Any other rules?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "If at any point you want out, you say it to my face. No backdoor deals, no lawyers as messengers." "Same for you," she said. "If you want out, you tell me. No disappearing, no late-night text." "Deal," I said. We stood there across the desk, both of us breathing a little harder than we should have. "Say the word," she said. I heard my own voice answer. "Okay," I said. "I will marry you." Quote. Relief came off her like a quiet wave, but it was not clean. It was mixed with fear and something like shock. "You understand what this means," she said. "No," I said honestly. "Not fully, but I know what I just agreed to." She nodded once like that was enough for now. "Tomorrow," she said, "we go to the courthouse. Before anyone can talk me out of it." "And the ring?" I asked. "Bring anything," she said. "We can replace it later. Right now, the record matters more than the stone." She walked me back toward the sliding door. The buzz of the party grew louder as we got closer. Just before she opened it, she stopped. "Thank you," she said. "You hired me to fix things," I said. "This is just bigger than I expected." "This is not your job," she said. "It is now," I said. Her eyes searched my face like she wanted to say more. Then she slid the door open and stepped back into the light. Outside, people were cutting cake. Someone handed me a plate. Mark yelled something about honeymoon time. The music went up again. No one knew that in less than 24 hours my whole life would change. I did not stay long after that. I said my thanks, accepted a few hugs, and left before my face gave away more than I wanted. On the drive home, the city lights blurred past my windshield. I kept hearing her voice in my head. "My place tonight. Bring a ring. Your choice." My apartment felt small when I walked in. Single couch. Small kitchen. Stack of mail on the counter. I dropped my keys and stood in the doorway for a minute. If I was smart, this was the part where I called her and said I had changed my mind. Instead, I opened the drawer where I kept old things I did not know what to do with. At the bottom, wrapped in tissue, was a ring I had once bought for someone else years ago. Simple band, small stone. I had never used it. I stared at it in my palm. It felt like a joke the universe was in on. "You sure?" I said out loud to no one. No answer came. Just the hum of the fridge. I put the ring in my pocket. The next morning, the air over downtown Chicago was sharp and cold. The Daily Center looked gray and heavy from the street. People in suits and heavy coats moved in and out of the doors. police car sat at the curb. It did not look like a place where love stories lived. Elena waited for me near the entrance. She wore a navy coat, dark jeans, and boots. Her hair was up in a loose twist. No camera makeup, no TV lights. Just her. "You came," she said. "I brought the ring," I said. I held out my hand. She took the small box and opened it. For a second, something soft crossed her face. "It is pretty," she said. "It was already paid for," I said, trying to keep my voice light. "Figured it should do some work." Her eyes flicked up. "Story?" "Another life," I said. "Another girl." She said no. I kept the receipt, but never used it. "I am sorry," she said quietly. "I am not," I said. If she had said yes, I would not be standing here. A small, real smile tugged at her mouth. Inside, the clerk behind the glass window looked bored and tired. We filled out forms. We handed over IDs. The woman glanced at our names, then at our faces. "You sure?" she asked in a flat voice. "Yes," Elena said without hesitation. "Yes," I said, and to my own surprise, I meant it. The ceremony room was small and plain. Beige walls, a seal of the state. A judge with kind eyes and a tie that did not match his shirt. He read from a script. We repeated words. My voice did not shake. Elena's did not either. When he told me to put the ring on her finger, my hands were steady. The metal slid over her skin and settled there like it had been waiting. "You may kiss," the judge said. We had not talked about this part. Elena looked at me. There was a quick flash of panic in her eyes, then something else. "Real or nothing," I said under my breath. Her mouth tilted. "Then make it real," she whispered back. I leaned in and kissed her once. Not long, not deep, just a firm, steady press of my lips to hers. Warm, soft, honest. The room did not spin. Fireworks did not go off. But something inside me changed shape. "Congratulations," the judge said. "You are married." Outside, the cold hit my face again. So did another kind of heat. On the sidewalk by the steps, two people with cameras waited. Not big news crews. Not yet. Just hungry local reporters. "Miss Hart," one called. "Is this personal or strategic?" "Is this to block the board vote?" the other asked. Elena's jaw set. Her hand brushed my sleeve, a small touch that felt like more. "No comment today," she said. "We are off the clock." They shouted more questions, but she was already walking toward the street. I matched my pace to hers, staying close at her side. The camera snapped. Somewhere behind us, a door closed. Her car pulled up, driver already out. We climbed into the back seat. The city noise faded as the door shut. For a moment, we just sat there, breathing in the same small space. "Well," I said, "that happened." "You can still back out," she said quietly. "We can file for annulment later. Say it was a rush. Say it was a mistake." "Do you want that?" I asked. Her fingers found the ring and turned it once. She looked straight ahead. "No," she said. "I want my company. And I want you in this with me. But I will not trap you. If you regret it, tell me. I can take it." I watched her profile as the car merged into traffic, the strong line of her jaw, the shadows under her eyes, the way her shoulders stayed tight, like she was still waiting for the blow. "I do not regret it," I said. She turned her head. Her eyes searched mine for any hint of a lie. "Okay," she said softly. The driver took us north along the lake. The water was gray and rough. The sky hung low. We passed tall buildings, small shops, people walking dogs. Normal life. None of them knew we had just tied ourselves together in a room with beige walls. At a red light, my phone buzzed. A text from my friend Nate. "Dude," he wrote. "Just saw your name on some business feed. You marry your boss, or is the internet drunk?" Additional alert popped up. A news headline. Hart Freight CEO weds financial consultant day before keyboard meeting. My stomach dropped. I clicked the link. The article was short but sharp. Questioned my motives. Questioned hers. Called it a stunt. Elena's screen lit up at the same time. She read fast. Her mouth went tight. "They are faster than I thought," she said. "They think you are desperate," I said. "They think you are bought," she said. Heat rose in my chest. I wanted to punch the screen. "They do not know me," I said. "They will," she said. Her eyes were dark now, but not broken. "And they will know you did not come cheap." She turned the ring on her finger again, slower this time. "Welcome to the fire, Harrison," she said. "We are in it together now." Outside, the light turned green. The car moved forward. Somewhere ahead, her father and her board were waiting with their own plans. Beside me, my new wife sat with a ring on her hand and a war in her eyes. And I knew this was bigger than numbers now. Elena's house sat on a quiet street near the lake. Big trees. Brick front. Tall windows that looked clean enough to glow. From the outside, it looked like every perfect life you see in a magazine. Inside, it felt like someone lived here only between meetings. There were nice chairs and a soft gray couch. A glass coffee table with nothing on it. Shelves with art books that looked untouched. The kitchen was all white and steel, every surface clear. No photos on the fridge. No shoes by the door. No jacket tossed on a chair. "This is neat," I said. "This is staged," she said. "Two different things." Her driver carried my one duffel bag in and left it by the stairs. He nodded to both of us and slipped back out the door like he already knew this was not his scene. "You do not have to stay here," Elena said. Her voice had gone quieter now that we were alone. "You could keep your place and just show up when we need to be seen together." "No," I said. "If we are doing this, we do it all the way. Half steps look fake." She watched me for a second. "You sure?" she asked. I thought about my small apartment, about my landlord who never fixed the heat unless I called twice. "Pretty sure," I said. She nodded toward the stairs. "Guest room is at the end of the hall," she said. "My room is the second door on the right. Try not to get lost." I picked up my bag and started up. Halfway up the steps, she called my name. "Harrison!" I stopped and looked back over the railing. "If you ever feel like this is too much," she said slowly, "you can say so. I will not think less of you." "I know," I said. "Same offer goes for you." Her mouth tipped at one corner. "Not likely," she said, but her eyes were soft. The guest room was almost too clean. Fresh white sheets. One painting of a gray lake. A dresser with empty drawers. I put my clothes away and swapped my dress shirt for a worn navy t-shirt. When I came back down, Elena was in the kitchen with the fridge door open. She stood there like a person reading a language they did not speak. "Problem?" I asked. "This fridge is full," she said, "but I have no idea how to turn this into food." I looked over her shoulder. Glass containers, cut fruit, bags of salad, takeout boxes, sparkling water, 3 kinds of yogurt. It was like a grocery store display. "You never cook?" I asked. "I schedule dinner," she said. "That is not the same thing." "Do you own a pan?" I asked. She pointed at a drawer. I opened it. There was one nice skillet and one small pot. All right. It was something. "Sit," I said. "You had a wild day. Let me cook." Her eyebrows went up. "You cook," she said. "I mess with heat and food," I said. "If it comes out edible, we call it cooking." She hesitated, then moved to the other side of the island and sat on one of the stools. She took off her heels and set them neatly under the counter. In bare feet and a navy dress, she looked less like a CEO and more like a real person who had just survived something. I found pasta, olive oil, garlic, a jar of sauce. Enough for a simple meal. While water boiled, I smashed a clove of garlic with the flat of the knife and started slicing. "You always this calm?" she asked. "No," I said. "Sometimes I panic. I just do it very quietly." She huffed out a small laugh. "Good," she said. "Someone needs to be calm." "I am not sure I am." "You looked pretty calm at the courthouse," I said. "That was theater," she said. "This is worse." "What is worse?" I asked. She glanced at my hand, moving with the knife, then at the ring on her own finger. "Having someone in my house who is not on my payroll, she said. Having someone here who can see me when I am not on. I dropped the garlic into the pan and listened to it hiss. Too late to throw me out, I said. You are stuck with me now. She twisted the ring slowly. I know, she said. That is what scares me. We ate pasta at the island with 2 plain plates and 2 glasses of water. No staff, no board, no father, just us and the small clink of forks. It feels fake, she said after a while. What does? I asked. This, she said, waving her fork between us. Marriage, dinner, you cooking in my kitchen. It feels like a scene I borrowed from someone else's life. How does it feel right now? I asked. She thought for a second. Less fake than I expected, she said. That is the problem. My chest pulled tight in a way that had nothing to do with food. We will figure it out, I said. One thing at a time. She nodded and took another bite. After dinner, she led me to the home office. This one was different from the staged living room. There were stacks of files on the floor, 2 screens on the desk, mugs with cold coffee rings, a blazer thrown over the back of a chair. This is where the real mess lives, she said. This I understand, I said. She pulled a file from the stack. We have a board meeting in 2 days, she said. My father is already angry. Some of them think I married you to distract them. Some think you are here to loot the company. Nice, I said. I make a great first impression. She did not smile. They will come for you, she said. If they can paint you as dirty, they can paint me as stupid. I know, I said. Let them try. Do you ever get scared? She asked. All the time, I said. I just learned that numbers do not care how scared you are. She took that in and sat on the edge of the desk. I need you to look at everything, she said. Shipments, vendors, cash flow, side deals. I need to know if someone is already cutting this place out from under me. Like who? I asked. She hesitated. There is one name that keeps coming up, she said. Victor Sterling. I had heard of him, big private equity guy, polished smile. Known for saving companies and then gutting them. He wants Hart Freight, she said. My father thinks he is a hero. I think he is a shark. The board loves his charts. Has anything been signed? I asked. Not yet, she said. Just talks. Numbers being passed back and forth. Praise emails. A few private dinners I was not invited to. Then we are early, I said. Early is good? She pushed a stack of vendor reports toward me. Find me something real, she said. If I go into that boardroom with feelings, they will laugh. If I go in with facts, they will at least have to pretend to listen. I can do facts, I said. She watched me pull my laptop out of my bag and set up on her desk like I had done this in 100 strange offices. You really are not afraid, she said. That is not true, I said. I am terrified. I just know how to read scary things. She smiled for real then, small but bright. Good, she said. Read my scary things. The next hours blurred into screens and numbers. I spread reports across the desk and the floor in neat stacks. I made notes in a yellow pad. Vendor names, payment dates, routing numbers. Patterns started to flicker at the edges of my vision. At some point, Elena disappeared and came back with 2 mugs of coffee. She sat one beside me. 2 sugars, she said. I guessed. I took a sip. Warm, sweet. The smell wrapped around me. Thank you, I said. She sat in the chair across from me with her own mug and watched me work. Her bare feet were tucked under her. Her blazer was gone. Her hair was loose around her shoulders. For the first time since I met her, she looked like she might be allowed to be tired. You ever regret taking this company? I asked without looking up. Every week, she said. For about 10 minutes at a time. What keeps you in the chair? I asked. She was quiet for a moment. My grandmother built this from one truck, she said. She was not polite. She was not safe. She did not do all this so her son could sell it to the first man with a shiny pitch deck. I looked up at her. Her eyes were fixed on the window, where the dark lake showed nothing back. I owe her more than that, she said. And who owes you? I asked. She blinked and looked at me. For a second I thought she might cry. She did not. Maybe you do, she said, voice low. You married me. Silence settled between us, heavy and strange. We held each other's eyes a second too long. Then my laptop pinged softly. A new row on the screen caught my attention. I forced myself to look down. Here, I said, this vendor. She stood and came around the desk to stand beside me. I could feel the heat of her shoulder near my arm. Northline Supplies, I said, 3 months old. Already billing more than vendors that have been with you for years. No delays, no disputes, no nothing. That is a good thing, she said. Sometimes, I said. Unless it is too clean. I pulled up bank data. Same routing number as this older vendor you used to work with, I said. Different name, same path. Her eyes moved fast over the screen. So someone shut one door and opened another, she said. Or kept the same door and painted the sign, I said. I clicked another report. Another new vendor. Same pattern. Then another. Together they made a line. Who set these up? I asked. Accounting says they came in through a special project team, she said. Sterling's team. My stomach tightened. Of course they did, I said. We stayed up until past 2. Every time I thought I had seen all of it, another link showed up. Ghost vendors. Clean invoices. Money moving in a way that looked right on the surface, and wrong if you stared too long. Finally, I leaned back and rubbed my eyes. We have a problem, I said. How bad? She asked. Bad enough that if I am right, someone is bleeding you out on purpose, I said, and making it look like growth. Her jaw clenched. So I am not just fighting my father and a stupid clause, she said. I am standing on a ship someone is quietly drilling holes in. Feels that way, I said. She let out a slow breath. Can you prove it? She asked. I can start, I said. But I need more than paper. I need at least one place where the numbers and the ground do not match. Pick one, she said. We will go. I looked at the list. Indianapolis Hub, I said. Joliet, maybe Denver. Pick one for tomorrow, she said. We fly out after the board meeting if they do not cut my legs off before lunch. I shut the laptop and looked at her. She was closer than I realized. The soft lamp in the corner made her eyes look darker. The ring on her hand caught the light. You should sleep, I said. You have to be sharp tomorrow. You too, she said. We did not move. Her hand was resting on the edge of the desk near mine. Without thinking too hard, I turned my palm so it brushed hers. Just a small touch. Warm skin against warm skin. She went still. Her fingers curled just enough to hook mine. This is dangerous, she said quietly. The vendors? I asked, even though I knew what she meant. This, she said. She glanced at our hands. Us. Whatever this is. We made rules, I said. No fake affection, no lies. And no promises we cannot keep, she said. I nodded. Then we are fine, I said. We are just two married people trying not to let a company burn down. Her mouth twitched. You know how strange that sounds, she said. Very, I said. She slid her hand away slowly. The loss of contact felt bigger than it should have. Good night, Harrison, she said. Good night, Elena, I said. I watched her walk out of the office, ring flashing once in the doorway light. When she was gone, I leaned back in the chair and stared at the ceiling. By morning, we would face her father and a board that thought I was a threat. By afternoon, we might be on a plane to chase ghosts through a warehouse. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I had fallen just a little bit in love with the woman who had asked me to bring a ring. The morning of the board meeting, I woke up before the alarm. For a moment, I did not know where I was. The ceiling was too high. The air smelled like coffee and lake water instead of my old apartment hallway. Then I heard soft movement down the hall and remembered. Elena. The courthouse. The ring. The files. I pulled on a shirt and stepped out into the hall. Her office door was open. She stood inside in a black suit, sharp lines, hair pinned up, back straight. Her armor was on. She saw me in the doorway, and for a second it slipped. Her eyes warmed. Her shoulders eased just a little. "Good morning," she said. "Morning," I said. "You ready to go fight rich men in suits?" Her mouth twitched. "As ready as I can be," she said. "Did we find enough last night to hit them with?" "We found enough to ask very hard questions," I said. "If they are smart, that will scare them more than answers." She nodded once. Her hand went to the ring on her finger like she needed to feel it there. "All right," she said. "Let us go scare them." The Heart Freight boardroom sat on the top floor of the downtown building. Long, polished table, floor-to-ceiling windows. The city spread wide outside as if the company owned the view. Directors sat in big chairs around the table. Most were older men in dark suits, 2 women in smart jackets. Phones on the table. Thin folders in front of them. My chair was near the end, a little to the side. I was the outsider. At the head sat Elena's father, Charles Hart, silver hair, straight back, cold blue eyes that had seen and judged a lot. Beside him sat Victor Sterling, polished as ever, gray suit, hint of a smile. When Elena walked in, the room shifted. Some directors straightened. Some avoided her eyes. Sterling rose like a gentleman. "Daughter," Charles said. He did not stand. He did not hug her. He said the word like a title he did not want to give up. "Mr. Hart," she said. She did not call him Dad. Her voice was cool. His gaze flicked to me. Measured. Sharp. "And this must be the husband," he said. "You move fast." "I move when you push me," she said. Soft gasps went around the table. Sterling's smile thinned. "We have concerns," Charles said. "You married a consultant on the eve of a major vote. Clients are nervous. Regulators ask questions. This feels like chaos, not leadership." "Then let us talk about leadership," Elena said. "And who is really causing trouble here?" She nodded at me. I stood. My hands were steady. My heart was not, but I knew how to hide that. "Good morning," I said. "I am Harrison Cole. You know my name from headlines. You might not know my work. I follow money that does not want to be followed." A few of them shifted in their seats. One woman near the middle leaned forward, interested. "In the last 48 hours, I said, I have looked at your vendors, your shipments, and your cash flow. I focused on new accounts that came in through Mr. Sterling's special project team." Sterling lifted his hands a little. "Now hold on," he said. "These are standard vendor additions. Growth partners. You barely had time to look." "I had enough," I said. I clicked the small remote. A screen on the wall lit up with a simple chart. No fancy colors. Just lines. Dates. Names. "These vendors appeared in the last 3 to 5 months," I said. "On paper, they look perfect. No disputes, no delays, clean invoices, high volume, almost too clean." "What is wrong with clean?" one director asked. "Nothing," I said. "Unless the same bank routing number shows up under 3 different names." I clicked again. The chart zoomed in. The routing number glowed at the bottom. 3 vendor names lined up above it. "These payments all go to the same path," I said. "Different labels, same pocket." "That is not illegal by itself," Sterling said. His jaw was tight now. "Some firms use shared services." "True," I said. So I checked shipping records. And then I went to see the ground. I had left this part out of my talk with Elena that morning. She had gone to bed around 3. I had not. In the middle of the night, while she slept, I had called a guy the first knew at the Joliet hub. Former client. Old friend. I asked for live footage and gate logs. He owed me a favor. He sent everything. I stayed up in the dark with only the screen lighting my face, watching trucks roll in and out like a slow movie. "Yesterday," I said to the board, "a shipment of medical supplies was marked as received at your Joliet Center. The client complained that it never arrived. The system said it was there. The floor said it was not. I watched the gate footage myself." I clicked again. A grainy still image filled the screen, a truck at the gate. "This driver badge," I said, pointing, "does not exist in your employee system. The truck comes in close behind another. The cameras think it is one long unit. Your log marks 1 truck, not 2. Product clicks in as received without ever being put on a real pallet." "Where did it go then?" the woman director asked. I changed the slide, another still image. Zoomed in on the trailer, a faint logo near the back, a circle with an S inside. From the far end of the table, I heard a soft curse. "Interesting mark," I said. "Looks a lot like one used on a private warehouse group that Mr. Sterling has a controlling stake in." All eyes went to Sterling. He lifted his chin. "You have no proof those images are tied to my company," he said. "You show stills and guesses." "I show pattern," I said. "I can also show payments from your other companies to these new vendors within hours of the missing shipments. I can show calls between your team and managers at locations where things go wrong in a very convenient way." I let that hang in the air. "This is speculation," Charles said. "Even if you are right, this is inside baseball. The larger question is whether my daughter is stable enough to run this company. She just married a man under media fire." "If we are talking about fire," I said, keeping my voice level, "we should talk about who lit it." They looked at me. I held up my phone. "This article about me," I said. "The one hinting at an SEC review. It quotes anonymous sources and claims of trades I never made. Strange thing is, the trades they list were made from an account tied to one of Sterling's shell companies. An account I only saw because your own records are so messy." A murmur ran through the room. "If any regulator actually looks at me," I said, "they will see I am clean. But by then, the story will have done its work. It was never about truth. It was about doubt." Elena stood then, strong, tall. "You brought a man into my house and tried to smear him for protecting my company," she said to Sterling. "You used my father. You used the board. You used my name." Sterling's easy charm was gone now. His eyes were cold. "You are scared," he said. "You are weak. You dragged a man into this who will regret it when this ship sinks." I moved before I thought. "Not at him, just closer to Elena. Not touching, just near." "I knew what I was doing," I said. "And this is not a sinking ship. You are not the captain here, Mr. Sterling. You are the leak." Silence again, heavy. You could almost hear the weight of decisions shifting. The woman director cleared her throat. "I want an independent audit," she said. "Full authority. Full access. No influence from Mr. Hart or Mr. Sterling. If the facts match what Mr. Cole says, we have more than a marriage to discuss." Other directors nodded. Some still looked angry. Some looked scared. But they were listening. Charles glared at his daughter. "This circus is your fault," he said. "No," she said. "This is the cost of letting men like Sterling circle without a fight." Her voice was calm and hard. She looked like her grandmother might have, standing in front of her first truck. The vote passed. The audit was ordered. Sterling left the room with tight lips and a smooth promise to clear all this up. No one looked at him on the way out. When the door closed behind him, I felt the room breathe. The meeting dragged on after that. Risk plans, client calls, talk of press releases. They asked me to stay to explain a few more charts. For the first time, some of them looked at me like a partner, not a problem. By the time we got back to the house, the winter sun was already low. The lake outside the windows looked flat and cold. Elena dropped her bag on the counter and leaned back against it. Her face was pale. Her shoulders were still set like stone. "Hey," I said. "You did it." "Did what?" she asked. "You stood up in front of a room full of people who wanted you to be the problem," I said. "You made them look at the real one." She let out a shaky breath. "It is not over," she said. "I know," I said, "but you are not alone in it." She looked at me for a long time. "You put your own name on the line," she said. "You did not have to." "I did," I said, "because this is my life too now, and because I trust that I am right." Her eyes glistened for half a second. She blinked it away. She stepped closer. "Why?" she asked quietly. "Why do you trust me?" It took me a second to answer. She had never asked that, not directly. "Because you gave me the truth up front," I said. "You did not dress it up. You could have lied. You did not. You asked for help, and you hated having to ask." That is the kind of person I want to stand next to. Her hand went to the ring again. She turned it, then stopped. Harrison, she said. My name came out low and careful. The clause is covered now. The board cannot use it. Even if this audit takes me down, the legal piece is done. You do not have to stay once this is over. I swallowed. My chest hurt in a good way. Is that what you want? I asked. She looked down at our feet, bare on the kitchen tile. Then she looked back up. No, she said. I want you to stay because you want to, not because the paper says so, not because I am a project. Because when you think of home, you think of this, of me. Her voice shook on the last word. The house was quiet. The only sound was the faint hum of the fridge and the soft push of wind against the lakeside windows. I stepped in close. Not sudden, not hard. Just close enough that I could feel her warmth. Do you remember the first wish you told me to make? I asked. She frowned a little. At your party, she said. At the cake. I wished you would stop looking like you were holding a door shut by yourself, I said. I did not say it out loud, but that was it. Her jaw trembled once. And now, she said, now I want to hold it with you, I said. Not for the company, for you, for us. She stared at me like she was trying to see straight through my bones. You're sure? She asked. Yes, I said. I reached for her hand. This time it was easy. Her fingers slid into mine like they had been waiting. I lifted her hand and kissed the ring on her finger, then turned her palm and kissed that too. Her breath hitched. This is real, I said. No cameras, no board, just us. She stepped into my chest then. Her arms went around my neck, mine went around her waist. When I kissed her, there was no judge, no reporter, no father in the way. It was slow and deep, gentle and sure. She melted against me like her body had been waiting to rest. When we pulled back, her forehead stayed against mine. I am still not good at soft, she whispered. That is all right, I said. I am very patient. She laughed then, a real laugh. The sound filled the too-clean kitchen and bounced off the high ceiling. Weeks passed. The audit came back strong. It confirmed everything. Sterling's fake vendors, the ghost trucks. The money flowed into his private lines. Regulators moved in. The board cut him loose fast to save their own faces. They kept Elena as CEO not because she was married, but because the facts were on her side, and she had fought for them. Her father stopped talking about selling. He did not start talking like a real dad, but he backed off. For now, that was enough. The media storm died down. The article about me was corrected with a small note that no one read. My name slid out of the search bar. Life at the house by the lake changed in small ways. My duffel bag turned into 2 drawers, then a whole side of the closet. Her fridge had real food now. We burned pancakes on Sunday once and ate them anyway on the floor. There were shoes by the door, a jacket on the back of a chair, a photo of us that Marta took on a shelf by the coffee machine. In it, I had my hand at Elena's back. She was looking up at me, not at the camera. We looked surprised and happy. One quiet Saturday morning, months after the day with the cake, we sat on the back steps with coffee. The lake was calm, the air was cool. She wore a soft sweater and leggings. I wore an old hoodie. She turned her mug in her hands. Hey, Harry, she said. Yeah, I said. Happy very late birthday, she said. I smiled. Best one I ever had, I said. She slid a small box across the step between us. What is this? I asked. Open it, she said. Inside was a ring. Simple band. Dark metal. No stone. Strong. For you? She said. So when people ask why you stayed, you can say you were chosen too. My throat felt tight. I stayed because I wanted to, I said. I know, she said. This is just the proof. I took the ring and slid it on. It fit. Warm metal against warm skin. She watched my face like the answer to something was written there. I love you, I said. It came out easy. True. No fear. Her eyes filled. She did not blink it back this time. I love you too, she said. That is the part one never planned. The clause did not see that coming. I laughed softly and pulled her into my side. She rested her head on my shoulder. Our rings caught the light together. Somewhere far away, old men with old rules still tried to write the stories of women like her and men like me. In our small piece of the world, on those back steps by the lake, we wrote our own. I had joked at a party, "Marry me, boss." She had said, "My place tonight. Bring a ring." I thought I was walking into a fake fix for a broken rule. Instead, I walked into the one thing in my life that was not a joke at all. A real marriage. A real partner. A love that started as a problem to solve and became the home I had never known I was allowed to want.